In a world of glitz and glam, flashing lights and screaming fans, most people are unaware of the war that rages behind the scenes. And that war includes your favorite artist and your favorite songs. This is The Dark Side of Songwriting. Hosted by Nayim Edwards.
Welcome to The Dark Side of Songwriting. My name is Nayim Edwards. I am your host. And today, before we get started, shout out to Fleet Memo Ronald Smith. Thank you for your financial contribution to the show. It's because of people like you, we remain uncompromising. Now, today I want to talk about this snippet that Lil Durk put up, where he actually was tapping more into his vulnerable side and tapping more into the realistic side of the consequences that come with the lifestyle that he raps about. Contrary to what the mainstream media likes to portray and what other mainstream artists actually put out about him, when you listen to his catalog, it's fairly balanced. Is it as balanced as it could be? No, but it's balanced enough where we ain't got to hit him over the head and clobber him down whenever he's on that gangster time. However, his image in the media is one that they more so put more emphasis on the gang wars, more so put more emphasis on the gangster stuff. Anytime he does or says anything controversial, that's when they want to sing his praises and stuff. But if he's rapping about India or he's talking about the city or vulnerabilities, people, they just, they'll say something about it for one day, but they'll brush over it. And I actually wrote down all of the lyrics, well, most of them, for the snippet that he put out. And I want to go through these things one by one, because honestly, when we go all the way back to when we first started The Dark Side of Songwriting, these are the type of moments that I started this series for. It's because we need people like Durk, whether you believe he's real, whether you believe he's a fake gangster, whether you believe he's just the money man, or whatever you want to tell yourself about Durk. He's a person that's from that, in that background, is 100% certified from where he come from and what he's been through. We've seen it all. He has the resume that is platinum plated. And these are the type of people that a lot of the times they're only going to get praised for talking about the horrific shit that goes on where they from, the horrific shit that they've done, that life-altering shit, but they never give you the other side, or they die or get killed before they can give you the other side of it. So I want to go through the lyrics, no index cards, but I got a clipboard. The first lyric is, how many niggas I used to fuck with told me fuck me over money. This is something that we always, we bring it up because, and we bring up the idea that, like, not even the idea, the fact that there are going to be people who, one, they look at you as a bank, they look at you as their cash cow, they are putting 100% into you as their only way out. Or if it's somebody that you might perceive as a bitch, or somebody you might perceive as soft, you're being extorted or something like that. Either way, people have an entitlement to you when you finally get on your feet, when you finally get to the point where you are the one that made it out of everybody else. They're looking for you to pull them up. And when you don't pull them up, and when you don't play into whatever insanities that they told themselves and entitlements that they've convinced themselves that what you work for and what you put in, because a lot of times these people are just standing around not doing shit. They think being the weed man is contributing to the business, because if you ain't had me, bro, who was gonna roll your blunts? Nigga, me. Like, what are you talking about? Like, they feel like these penny things. They don't have talent. They don't want to invest in themselves. They want to be the bag carrier, because they'll be like, well, I was there. They're standing in the studio, fucking the hoes and getting all the benefits, but they have not made a real contribution to what you're doing. They feel like they're still entitled to something. And the minute that you decide that you want to say no, the minute that you decide that I need to look around myself, how Fetty Wap did when he was on a plane with Taylor Swift one time, and he was talking about, Taylor Swift was like, why do you have so many people around you? Like, all I got is this person, and this person, because all this other shit is unnecessary. That's on the Paranormal Pentivity channel, I believe. You can go over there if you want to see that episode. But when you decide that you want to play cleanup, and you decide that you want to get your finances in order because you might have had a new baby, because you're older and you understand the business now, because you looked at your bank account and realized there was nothing going on in your bank account, or you should be way richer than what you are you're looking at. That's when people start turning on you. That's when all of a sudden you're No Limit Cairo. You didn't want to come out in the beginning and, oh, I can't fuck with this nigga because he fake. I can't fuck with him because he not really from around here, or he from Calumet, we from whatever the fuck other city, or whatever the fuck, or street, or whatever. They don't come out and do that in the beginning because they're so desperate for an opportunity. But when they don't get their way anymore, that's when they're going to decide that, you know what, fuck this motherfucker, we gonna turn on him. So that's one of the lighter lines that's in the snippet. The second line, and these are in order of how he rapped them. The autopsy of Von's body had me coughing up my vomit. This was probably, I would say they're all equally weighted, but this was the one that I wanted to specifically harp on, because let everybody else tell it while he's going through this. Because remember, the autopsy of Von's body went around. I remember kind of glancing and cutting it off because I'm just like, I don't want to see this shit. Like, the funeral home or whoever the fuck leaked the picture of the autopsy and shit. When all of this stuff go down, you got people in your inbox slide for Von. You got people in your inbox sending you that. You got people who your enemies done got your phone number. They're sending you the picture of it. They laughing at you. They taunting you. And instead of coming out and saying, I'm fucked up, because I don't think a lot of people would just come out in the beginning and be like, I'm fucked up, I can't take this. They expect you, because you're a star, because you're somebody that is successful, because you're somebody that's going to be somebody, they expect you to come out here and be able to be okay. Because again, remember I told you about how they say you got money, you're fine. They expect you to actually believe, like, you're fine, you have money. Like, who gives a fuck if your friend got killed? If they was really friends, that's neither here nor there. We're just going by the lyrics. They expect you to be okay with it. They expect you to not be hurt. Or if you're hurt, they want to know that immediately. But instead of not saying anything, not doing anything, what ended up happening with Durk? Yes, he was obviously hurt and he was sad about it. But because of what his past is, because right before Von got killed, Back in Blood dropped. I think Black in Blood dropped literally the day that Von got murdered, or maybe it was the day before. But they expect you to keep that attitude. They don't think you have feelings. They don't think that anything bothers you. You're invincible. You Lil Durk. You the voice of the streets. You the biggest gangster. You a real killer. You a certified. Everybody around you, we know about what happened with Duck, and we know about what happened with all of them people. They expect you to be that 100% of the time when we know that's not true. This is why I think that whatever this song is, I don't know the name of the song. I don't know if it's the feature that's supposed to be with Kanye. I don't know what this is or where this is going to go. But it's critical that he says this, because he is one of the people that is responsible for people actually believing that people are actually gangster all the time. I told you in the self-defense video about how when you have to take a life, and to our knowledge, he's never taken a life. Firsthand taken a life. He's probably paid, but whatever. That alters you and that changes you. Just like seeing a dead body. If he's never seen a dead body, if you ever been around anybody that's killed anybody, or if you ever heard the stories of people who kill people, or if somehow, some way you're watching this channel and you've had to do a self-defense, not somehow, some way, but if you're watching and you had to commit a self-defense that involved the taking of another life, a lot of the times, most people throw up when they see it. Most people throw up because it's so overwhelming, it's so overpowering. The first thing is your body is just having the natural reaction to just get it out. Just get it out. I can't take it. Just get it out. You're overwhelmed with anxiety. You're overwhelmed with your brain being flushed with all type of chemicals. These are the real things. And I'm happy that he said this, because a lot of the people, again, he's a part of that generation that is responsible for people thinking you have to be gangster all the time. Whole time they think you supposed to just slide for Von. You can't do no sliding because you're in the house sick. You're not going to do any sliding because you have now slipped into psychosis. You slipped into a situation where you don't even have control over what's real and what's fake, and what's reality and what you should be doing. You're actually probably paralyzed and you're not going to be able to do anything. So it is very critical that he has to come out and say this. It's just like when Gucci was talking about, let's stop dissing the dead. That was powerful, but then Gucci rehabbed and slipped back. So the next thing he said was, I was taking so many pills, I was so high, I really abused it. Started selling perks, I turned around and I started to use it. That's how it always goes, really. A lot of times, you know, a person who wasn't in the music industry, you get influenced by everybody and everything, and you have to, if you can, be a person whose willpower is bigger than what the situation is. But we got to take into account who's saying this. So he didn't put a timestamp on when he started selling perks, probably back in the day or when he was younger or when he got into the business. Either way, this is a person who's experienced so many traumatic events, seen so many people die, has lost so many people, including severely close family members like his brothers and his brother and his cousin and childhood friends, and all he's ever known his whole life is death. So he was bound to be a person that was going to be on some type of addiction, because a lot of these people get on these pills and get on these medications, self-medicating, because one, they don't know how to get help. Two, the people around them don't know how to get help. Some idiot around them told them this going to make them feel better. It's going to make the pain go away. They was already smoking weed or drinking or doing something or playing with their nose. And that was just the natural progression. It was the next step. It was, that's why they call drugs gateway drugs. It's not the fact that you're going to just wake up one day and like, oh my God, like I smoke weed and now I need to slip into crack or something like that, or mixing weed and cocaine or something like that because you want to soft launch your crackhead career. No, it's a gateway, because after a while it stops working for you, or something might happen to you where the dosage that you're at, it stops working for you, and you done hit the ceiling of how strong the thing is, and you end up like Kodak Black. I just want the straight fent. Just give me the fent. Don't even bullshit me with anything that you got. We're going from heroin straight to the fent. Just give me that. I want that. You end up in those situations because you were already on some type of substance before, and things being on those substances and hitting those ceilings don't make it no better, because there's a natural order of how you get to them. You start playing with the cocaine because a lot of people do it and they don't want to admit that they do it, and the cocaine don't be enough, so they want to go to the pharmacy. And then he's like, oh, I started selling them, then I started abusing it, because all you hear is people telling you about perk dick and how they fucked all night because they couldn't nut, and all of these other extravagant things you hear from these people who you looking at them because you're dumb already yourself. You don't know anything, and not dumb like, oh, you're a dumb bitch, but like you kind of are, but like you ignorant. You don't know anything yourself already, and people around you is telling you, yeah, man, this is going to numb the pain. It's going to take it away, because music gets into your subconscious. So if you listen in the Future all day, a questionable drug addict who I believe was paid to promote that shit, but you listen in the Future all day and he talking about, I take a perk to numb away the pain, or take the pain away, or I miss my dog, or we having perks to have fun, and you mix that sex and that pain and that confusion all together, you were bound to go over there, because that was your subconscious telling you, just take a half a perk. You only needed to sleep. Or I take a half a Xan to go to sleep. And now you end up liking that feeling. And because you never learned discipline, you never learned self-control, you never learned how to get through to the proper channels to get yourself help. No matter how much money you got, no matter what position you in life, you never got to those proper channels. You end up fucked up, and you end up slipping into going down these roads where you've completely lost control. You've hopped in the passenger seat. You was driving at first, and now you're in the passenger seat, and you're going wherever the medication take you. Very, very good putting this in there. Even though it's not descriptive enough, I'm here to give you the description of how he even got there. The next thing is took my name off rehab and replaced my name with duties. So with this line, I don't want to spend too much time on this. This line could either imply that Duty Low, because Duty Low actually came out, and shout out to Duty, friend of the show. Duty came out and was like, I was so fucked up, Durk sent me to rehab. I was down bad, I was about to die, Durk sent me to rehab. So this could imply that he gave his spot up so Duty could have the spot, and or he gave his spot up because he wasn't ready to be sober. He wasn't ready to quit. I'm already here. Fuck this. Let me just swap it out because I need him to be clean because I care about him. Very mysterious about whatever that means, but it is what it is. The next thing is had to get a pacemaker. My heart was skipping deuces. Very powerful line to me because most of the time you hear about these people's health scares and their health problems from abusing these drugs when they die. Or you hear about it on the news, like you hear about Rick Ross having seizures, Lil Wayne, everybody's having seizures from the lean, passed out. Oh, I'm just taking some time off is a really good one because they have to go to rehab, fake going to jail, how I believe NBA YoungBoy, I don't think he's been to jail as many times as he has, or I don't think really any rapper has been to jail anytime they have. I think that whoever is in charge of their situations is sending them to rehab, but they're trying to make it look cool because in our culture, going to a rehabilitation center is taboo. In other cultures, you can go to rehab 5, 6, 7, 8. It takes 15 times for a person to actually decide they want sobriety. Like, that's how it is in other places. But over here, we frown upon therapy. We frown upon rehabilitation. We frown upon those things. So, maybe with the Duty Low line before that, we can start to move into the direction of people getting sober, because that's the only way that we're going to even survive, because a people inebriated is a weak people, and a people inebriated is already conquered. I don't have to do anything. You're a drug addict. I can blow on you, and that's kind of it. But to even get to the point where you have been abusing drugs to where it has fucked your heart up, it needs to be said. And it needs to be said because millions of children are probably popping perks in Africa because of Durk. And if you think that that's not true, you need to study what's going on in other parts of the world. Key Glock is a very big artist over in India. They love his music over there. And I've told you that music is the barometer for the cultures. When they start to take a liking to you, Durk is a huge artist in Africa. He had people in Africa, when he said he was a Muslim, he had them people on prayer rugs kneeling and praying. So it's like, how many children have you ruined? How many families and grown people and anybody that you've influenced, how many of those people are going to see this, had to get a pacemaker, my heart started skipping deuces? He's not one of these severely creative people. This man has a heart condition, or had one, and I don't think that really go away. And that's probably what happened when he was on that damn stage that night, and he had to be rushed to the hospital, and he had to get off the tour. Them drugs done took over you. But this is the result. This is literally the dark side of songwriting. This is what happens when you do not tell the truth. Because if he's lucky, he lived to tell the truth. But there's one more line. I wish I could stop the war. I really want to live in peace. I wish I could stop the war, but it's too late for them to speak. Everybody that he's had those problems with, most of them, the big ones, they're dead. So when we have these situations where people died, and we have these situations where all these people, these younger people like our age, and if you younger than 30, all of us in this category and stuff, these people were born into these problems. They don't even know why they have problems. And nobody that was above them bothered to try to smooth any of this stuff out, because it was beneficial for them. It was beneficial for their side. It was beneficial for their game because the young people look up to them and it's kicking them some crumbs and kicking them some stuff. And the young people, and if they don't respect them, they're taking over and they're like, we're the most powerful and we're the most strong. But everybody around you dies, Durk. Everybody around you paralyzed. Everybody that you give a fuck about, everybody that you grew up with, you keep having to switch cliques and switch tribes and get people from outside the city to come in and fuck with you because they might have had a little traction and stuff going on where they was at, and having to change cliques and change circles and just change everything about your life all the time. The older you get, the more you realize, like, I never wanted to be a part of that. That was just all I knew at the time. And when you know better, you change. When you know better, you do better. Just saying you want to stop the war might incite some of the younger people, because who's left? Like, when you talk about the sides that's beefing, there's no big people that's still left. Chief Keef is going to California. That's something else. Chief Keef got out early. You are the biggest street artist in Chicago, period. So you can be the person to say that you want to stop this and y'all, we got to stop and get these people together. But the problem is, you can mean well and say you want to stop these things. And we mean well when we say we don't want to do this anymore. But blood has been shed and lives have been lost, and people are never going to see their relatives, their friends, their brothers, their families. They're never going to get those people back. So I can't be the person, even though I'm the biggest one here, what the fuck I look like telling you that I really want to stop this. And what do you say? I wish I could stop the war. I really want to live in peace. You want to live in peace because it's so much chaos. Your soul can't handle the shit anymore. It's so much, it's so chaotic that there's nowhere left to go. You've hit the pinnacle and the ceiling of the chaos. So it's nowhere else for you to go but the right direction. But how you going to tell me that we need to stop this after your side done took out our breadwinner, after your side done killed my brother, killed my sister, killed my grandma, killed my mother, killed everybody over here? Us from your side, we killed your brother, we killed your cousin, we killed your best friend, we ruined your family, we knocked off everybody and everything that you ever gave a fuck about. How do you tell somebody that, hey, we just need to, you can't, these are not situations that, it's good conversation to start some type of healing, but it's not something that is going to, it's not something that we can just squash because it's went past squash. And we can squash bickering back and forth. We can possibly squash, because most people die over bitches, but we can squash us liking the same girl. How do you squash something where everybody that you have your problems with is dead? People that they had problems with on your side, they're dead. Everybody's family hates you because when you had the opportunity back in the day to write a song like this, instead of writing a song like this back in the day, or when, let's just say, Durk dropped like Chicago Legends and stuff, that was the time to be trying to squash it when everybody was alive and everybody was free. There's people doing life in prison over this war. There's people that are never coming back in the grave because of these wars. And back when we had the opportunity to fix these things, we did not fix these things. When everybody was alive and free, when we could have all just prospered. But again, it's just a cycle. And this is the dark side of the songwriting, is we don't get a lot of people talking about these things and they have a big enough platform. Because people can talk about these things, but they don't have people that listen to them. They don't have people that care about their music. We need people care about their music, whether you think it's good music or it's bad music or anything like that. We need those people speaking, because those are the people are going to listen to. So they might give younger generations or beefing cliques and opposing parties the opportunity to say, you know what? We all alive and we all free right now. Before this gets out of hand any further, we're going to call neutral parties and we're going to sit here and we need to talk this out, and we need to we don't have to be friends. We don't have to get along. We don't have to be buddy-buddy. We don't have to hang out. We don't have to like each other, but we need to get to common ground and a mutual understanding that I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to try to sabotage you. I'm not going to try to hurt you or anybody on your side. And you're not going to do it to us, because right now we're in a good position where we are all alive and free. But know that that comes with the system targeting you, and you need to be okay and be ready for that, because we are all alive and we are all free right now. But if it gets out of control, you're going to be the one that's in pain forever. You're going to be the one that's fucked up forever. Your family's the one that's never going to get over it. Your children are never going to see you again. Your family's never going to be prosperous. They're going back to the projects. So I thought this was a good snippet. Don't know the name of the song. Don't know when it's coming out. But it's very critical that we have these type of things. Regardless of what a motherfucker has done, I'm all about the balance. Tell me the fucked up shit that comes with the fun gangster shit that you're talking about. Because if it's all fun, all gangster, all partying, all sex and all that shit, you don't want to talk about your pacemaker and you got sick and you fucked up and you don't know what to do. They're going to think it's all party and it's no bullshit. This is the dark side of songwriting.